A very long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. It was a time of great darkness. After defeating the invading Mandalorians who had gripped the galaxy in terror, Jedi Knights Revan and Alec, who had defied the Jedi Order to join the war in the Republic's time of need, returned, but were changed. The atrocities they had committed in the name of beating back the Mandalorians had led them down the path of the dark side, corrupting them into Sith. As Darth Revan and Malak, they began a new war to purge the Republic of weakness and ruin a Jedi Order mired in hypocrisy. However, treachery is the way of the Sith, and so it was inevitable that Malak would betray his master. Revan was destroyed, and Malak set about ruling the Republic as the true Dark Lord of the Sith. But for every dark threat, there is an even greater darkness to challenge it. After her vessel, the Endar Spire, was raided, Bastila Shan, a Jedi prodigy being hunted by Darth Malak, fled to Taris. She was rescued by Republic soldiers Dann Kasra and Cartho Nassi, who had also survived the Spire attack. Joined by newfound allies, they escaped Malak's fleet and the utter annihilation of Taris' surface before returning Bastila to the Jedi on Dantooine. There, the Jedi sensed a power rising within Dan. After much heated debate, Jedi Master Malvaro, a Jedi with a tragic past and his own battle with the temptations of the dark side, offered to train Dan in the ways of the Force. During his training, Dan befriended the KOTOR Juhani, and along with Bastila, uncovered an ancient ruin that held a star map, one piece of the puzzle that would lead the Jedi to the source of Malak's infinite fleet, the Star Forge. 4 more star maps hidden across the galaxy would lead them to its secret location. With great apprehension, the Jedi Council charged Dan with finding the star maps. His journey first took him to Tatooine, where Bastila was met with unexpected personal tragedy, reopening painful wounds. After unlocking the second star map in the cave of a gentle krayt dragon, the warriors set off for their next destination, Kashyyyk, home of the mighty Wookiees, where they quelled a Wookiee insurrection. Their mission did not go unnoticed by Malak, however, who remained determined to capture Bastila. To this end, he tasked the Sith fleet under the leadership of Commander Brax Drevitt and Malak's own Sith apprentice, the fearsome Darth Bandon, with hunting down Bastila and her allies. Pressured by the dangers of his mission, the mistrust of his crew, and the disapproval of the Council, Dan next traveled to the watery world of Manan. With the help of Eric, a young Republic soldier, he descended into the depths of the ocean and spoke with the star map's protector, the Progenitor, a creature of unimaginable age. On Manan, Darth Bandon struck, fighting Dan to a standstill until the Jedi was able to deliver a last desperate push and leave the planet, believing he had prevailed. Elsewhere on Dantooine, a dark shadow passed over the Jedi Enclave as Commander Drevitt ordered the Sith fleet to bombard the surface, massacring all but a handful of knights. Emotions ran high as Dan and Bastila, dealing with the stress of their mission, expressed their growing passion for one another and gave in to that yearning for a single kiss. But the dangers of the heart were superseded by the threat of the dark side. When the Sith captured the Ebon Hawk and its crew, the crew staged a daring breakout, but not before facing against Darth Malak himself. It was then that the Jedi's greatest secret was revealed. Dann Kasra, soldier of the Republic, was in truth Darth Revan. His memories wiped and replaced by the Jedi Council. Enraged at the betrayal by Bastila and his superiors, Dan faced off against Malak, but proved no match for the powerful Sith Lord. In an effort to redeem her part on the deceit, Bastila intervened, sacrificing herself to buy Dan and Karth the time to return to the Ebon Hawk. As Bastila was taken captive by the Sith, Dan vowed his revenge. Tipping further into obsession, Dan resumed his quest for the remaining star map, sojourning to the one place in the galaxy the dark side was strongest, Korriban, homeworld of the Sith. There, Dan went deep undercover, training at the Academy in order to earn the trust of the Sith and learn the location of the hidden star map. All the while, the specter of Darth Revan began to haunt Dan, tempting him to give in to the dark side, to become the Dark Lord once more. Dan did his best to quell the diabolical voice in his mind, but was forced to entertain the temptation of the dark side in order to win access to the remaining star map. He emerged from the trials with the blood of Karth's estranged son, Dustil, on his hands, and unsure of his own identity. Dan was not the only one who felt himself slipping further to the dark side. A captive Bastila Shan was tortured by Darth Malak until, at last, the Jedi Knight's will was broken and she became Malak's new Sith apprentice. Darth Bandon, now discarded, sought to exact his vengeance and prove his worth by attacking Dan at the Enclave ruins on Dantooine. This time, powered by his growing hate, Dan easily struck down the Sith Lord, and as Bandon lay dying, the assassin pleaded with Dan to retake his place as Darth Revan and avenge the Sith. With the star maps collected, the course of the Ebon Hawk was set for Lehon, a tropical paradise that was home to what had remained of the once powerful Rakatan Empire, responsible for the Star Forge's construction millennia ago. There, Dan was captured by the living Rakatan who had remembered him as Darth Revan. They agreed to release him so he might destroy the Star Forge once and for all, and erase their guilt in unleashing that technological terror on the galaxy. Dan vowed to end their shame, but was met by Bastila, now a slave to the dark side. Remembering their bond and the passion they shared, Dan would not attack Bastila, but rather joined her. In that moment, Dann Kasra was no more. Darth Revan, the Scourge of the Republic, was reborn, with Bastila allying herself as his devoted apprentice and lover. Revan gave the crew of the Ebon Hawk an ultimatum: join him or die. In the end, only Canderous Ordo and HK-47 remained loyal to his crusade, and Karth alone was able to escape the murder of the remaining heroes. Next, Revan slaughtered the Rakatan survivors, retaking his mask, before venturing with his new squad to the Star Forge to deal with his traitorous former pupil. On the shores of Lehon, Sith and the arriving Republic forces, led by Master Malvaro, fought a devastating campaign, while, in the skies above the planet, Revan and Bastila slew Darth Malak, bringing an end to the conflict and capturing the Star Forge for their own. Karth arrived to try, one last time, to bring back the brave soldier he'd first met on Taris, but Dan was long dead. Only Revan remained. Karth left that day, rejoining a republic that would need to stand ready for the new evil that had taken Malak's place: Darth Revan, the rightful heir to the triumphant Sith Empire.